Hi friends, welcome back to our EasyLearn YouTube channel, India's leading skill learning platform. So in today's session, we will discuss P2P cycle. So that P2P cycle is very important for someone who is preparing for SAP MM end user role or preparing for interview for SAP MM consultant. So for both cases, it's very important and you can expect at least one interview question from this topic. So what is that P2P cycle? So P2P cycle, full form for that P2P cycle is procure to pay cycle or procure to pay process, right? So we are just talking about very simple scenario here that like because in P2P cycle itself, there can be multiple scenarios as per the business requirement of the client. So first of all, we are just talking about very simple business scenario. And here we just talk about that very simple scenario. So that first step is determination of a requirement. What does this mean? Simply, let's suppose we are just taking a very practical example. We are just taking example of any rubber industry. Let's suppose there is a rubber industry and in that rubber industry itself, there are the several departments there. Like production department is there and HR department is there, quality department is there, plant maintenance department is there, and they are just doing their roles, their jobs they are doing there. So production department is doing what? They are just doing all activities related to production, like planning how much raw material is required to make a finished product. That all done by that production team or production department. So just take example like production department for that rubber industry, or we can say like tire industry. So in that tire industry, that production department just required some like 50 kg raw rubber, right? So in that case, what they are going to do, they will just create a purchase requisition. They are going to create a purchase requisition. Purchase requisition is an internal document. So after seeing the requirement, after doing the determination of a requirement, they come to know, yeah, they just required the 50 kg of that rubber, raw rubber. So in that case, what they are going to do, they are going to create a purchase requisition. And this is an internal request to procure a material. So purchase requisition, we are just creating to create an internal request so that this PR is sent to SAP MM end user, or we can say purchasing team, right? So what they are going to do, they are just going to create a PR, and PR means purchase requisition, and T code for that is ME51N. So they are going to create a purchase requisition by just using T code ME51N. And after that, they are going to send that PR to purchasing department, or we can say SAP MM end users. And after like once that purchasing department will see that purchase requisition, they will see, is the stock available in company's premises? If yes, they are going to provide from that company's premises, from that storage location. But let's suppose it's not available and they need to purchase that. So what they are going to do, they are going to create a purchase order. They are going to create a formal request to a vendor. Purchase order is a formal request to a vendor. In industries, it doesn't work like that. Like I just required some material. I'm just going to call to a supplier and I will say, okay, I just required that material. So without creating PO, he's not going to send that. There is a one scenario, auto PO, that's totally different scenario. But without creating purchase order, without creating a formal request, that vendor or supplier is not going to send that goods or that material, right? So for that, that SAP MM end user is going to create a PO, purchase order, and for that T code is ME21N. For that T code is ME21N. And after that, what will happen? That PO, that either the email or through that fax, that PO is sent to that vendor or supplier, and vendor and supplier is going to send an acknowledgement after receiving that PO. He is going to send an acknowledgement. Yes, I have received that PO and I'm going to send that material or goods on so and so date, and at whatever mentioned price is there and whatever conditions are there. So he is going to send the acknowledgement, and after that, on that date, that vendor and supplier is going to send the goods. And with the truck, let's suppose these goods are coming, and with that goods, supplier, vendor or supplier, whatever I'm saying, both are same. So vendor is going to send the goods, and with that goods he will also send a bill like how much payment we need to make. So in that bill in SAP we used to say invoice. So he's going to send the invoice, right? So once that goods reach to our company's premises, we are going to do what? We are going to do goods receipt document, GR posting in our SAP system. So we have to post a document. This is a goods receipt document. Once we are receiving and confirming a material, like yes, we have received that material. And for that, T code is MIGO or MIGO. Some used to say MIGO, some used to say MIGO. So T code is MIGO for that. And in that MIGO, we are just doing goods receipt against a purchase order, right? So against PO, we are just doing a MIGO. And I just told you now, vendor and supplier will send that bill or invoice. So we are also going to just do an invoice verification in our SAP system, like whatever bill or invoice he have sent it, is that correct or not? Is the amount, is that quantity is matching with our purchase order or not? So we are going to do that in invoice verification. And for that, T code is MIRO or MIRO, MIRO. So this is the T code to do an invoice verification, and that we are doing to checking and approving vendor invoice. And after that, our accounting department used to make a payment to that vendor. So that's a P2P cycle, procure to pay cycle, right? And it's very simple scenario is there, but like some more scenario can also be there in that P2P cycle. So what can it can be there? Like let's suppose in that scenario we have seen this is a regular vendor. Regularly we are purchasing from that vendor that material. As we just talk about that rubber material. So that rubber material we used to purchase from that supplier regularly. But let's suppose this supplier is a first time vendor. Like we just want to purchase, just take that in that example, then it will be clear to you. Let's suppose I just want to purchase silicone, and in that same organization I just want to purchase a silicone, and I'm purchasing that silicone for first time. So I don't know who is the supplier for that. So for that we have to find a supplier, right? So for that, what will be the steps? Determination of requirement will be there, purchase requisition will be created. After that, if it's not available in our company, then RFQ is created, request for quotation is created. RFQ is nothing but a vendor selection. With the help of RFQ, we are going to select a vendor. So vendor selection process is there with the help of RFQ. So we are going to create a RFQ here. After step second, after creating PR, we are going to create a RFQ by just using T code ME41, right? And there are several steps in that RFQ itself, creating request for quotation, then comparing the prices, entering the prices, then selecting a vendor, rejecting a vendor. So that all steps comes under the RFQ. So if I summarize that step, I can say vendor selection process is the RFQ, right? After that, once vendor is selected, then we are going to create a PO by just using T code ME21N. Then again, goods receipt by just using T code MIGO, and then invoice verification by just using T code MIRO, right? So these will be the steps if it's a first time vendor, like first time we are going to purchase that material. So like these steps will be there, like one extra step will come here. And there can be like multiple scenarios like that as per the business use, as per client requirement. Let's suppose one more standard requirement is there. Let's suppose in that company they just want like whenever like PR is created or PO is created, it must be released by higher authorities. So release strategy or release procedure they just want to map. Okay, so that also can be done. So after step second, there will be a release release procedure for PR, and after PO also there will be release, its strategy or release procedure will be there. So I can say third A step will also included here for release strategy. Release strategy, right? So like that, then next steps will be same, step 4 and step 5 will be same. So that could be the scenarios that can be that can be there in that P2P cycle. But in interview, if you are going to explain very simply that simple one with that step, initially I have explained you that 5-step procedure, that also more than sufficient, but you need to explain with the example. And if you are able to remember these scenarios also with the release strategy and with RFQ, then it will more better, right? So this is how you can explain that P2P cycle. And believe me, like this is one of the most important topic for both end user as well as for consultant. And like I'm going to make that series, whiteboard series, where I'm going to explain the real time scenarios and interview questions I'm going to explain, and that will definitely help you a lot. Still, if you have any question in that P2P cycle, you can ask me in the comment section. Definitely I will answer that. And secondly, like if you like our efforts, you can like this video and you can share in your SAP circle. Thank you guys. Thanks a lot. May God bless you all.